अनुष्टुपादीनि छन्दांसि श्री महाकाली महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वत्यो देवताः श्री दुर्गा प्रीत्यर्थं सप्तश्लोकी दुर्गा पाठे विनियोगः ज्ञानिनामपि चेतांसि देवी भगवती सा बलादाकृष्य मोहाय महामाय प्रयच्छति दुर्गे स्मृता हरसि भीतिमशेषजन्तो स्वस्थै स्मृता मतिमतीव
शुभमुदरासि दारिद्र्यं कात्वतान्या सर्वोपकारकरणाय सदार्चिता सर्वमङ्गलमङ्गलाये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते शरणागति
परित्राणपरायणि सर्वस्याधिहरे देवी नारायणि नमोस्तुते सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्ति.
I heard him come in. Class is started. My class is starting.
Durge Devi Namostute Durgana Shishana Pahansi Tushta Dushta Tukama
Barely got my other class up. Sanscription.
Ashita Yashayatam Prayanti
Sarvapadaprashamanam Trilokyasya Kileshwari Evam Meva Tvaya Karyamasmai Vinashanam Niti Shri Durga Sapta Shloki Sampunam. Nice. Welcome, welcome, students. How are we doing out there?
Hey.
Hey there. Big hot Sanskrit action today. It's gonna be a good time. All right, where is we need the air? Okie dokie. My partner is corralling the dog to take him for a walk. Here, hold on a minute. Maybe not yet. Maybe she's not taking yet. But this is the beast.
Oh my gosh.
Arlo.
So cute.
What's his name?
This is Arlo. He was
Love
the
it.
grand champion of the Pug Olympics this summer. Yeah. He did not compete any of the events except for the 50-yard dash. But he went first. So he had the best time. He completed faster than any other pugs, even though he didn't really compete.
Is he a puppy?
Oh no, this is a 4-year-old full-grown adult pug.
He's just got like that puppy shine.
Wow.
Yeah. Adorable. And very tolerant. He loves
As
that.
long as we're doing show and tell, see?
Oh
Look at
my God. That is
Yeah.
very impressive.
Grand champion.
Grand Olympian.
Olympian.
Wow.
And last year, he won overall best costume. I went to actually as a table with my head sticking out, and I had like a hat that looked like a bowl with pasta in it. And I dressed my partner up as a chef, and the dog was in a little t-shirt that said, "I'm a meatball."
Didn't take much.
Yeah. Overall,
Collectively,
yeah. I think we're going as the puggiest catch this year. Once upon a time we bought fisherman's outfit and put him in a little lobster costume. So I think we're gonna do that again. I'm gonna get a sign that says the puggiest catch, like the deadliest.
I want a picture. Can you get a picture of that?
Sure. I mean, I have a picture somewhere. Maybe I can put up of
The
our
lobster costume for sure. Oh my
Yeah.
God. That's a well-loved dog right there.
He is well loved.
Gosh.
All right, so I'm already recording because I missed the recording before, so all of this nonsense has been recorded. So today we remain on Naropa Standard Time. So we have 5 students. Generally, when we get to 8, I'll start. So my plan for today is we're going to continue with the PowerPoint on Sunday, and but before that, we're going to do some review. And you can consider this almost like the review that we're going to do is going to be kind of similar to the quiz we're going to have next week. I had a long conversation with Dr. Williams today. He originally had us planned for going through chapter 7, but we are going to shoot to get to chapter 6. We got slowed down here between the retreat, and I had to miss the class because I had to do my event, and it's just been a little bit slower going in this class than in prior classes that we've done. But that's fine. We're gonna get you there. We're gonna get you there. He is leaving for India in mid-October. He will be back, and he'll be teaching next semester. His sabbatical is only one semester. Right now, he is just loving life down in New Mexico, where he's actually where he's spending time with his wife, who has a job down there for a little while. That's all the information I have. Okay, so there's 8 people, so we're ready to rock. Oh, all right. So before we start, the first thing we're going to do today is a review activity, and it's a review on Sunday. The quiz we're going to have next week will be on script, and it will be on Vowel Sandhi. We're doing some consonant Sandhi now, but you have your worksheet on Sunday due tonight. So that'll be the practice. And then we'll do a short quiz. It'll only take 10 or 15 minutes. And it's just really the reason why I do quizzes is 1, for assessment, so I can see where you're at. But the other thing, and Dr. Williams and I were talking about this, is I usually do quizzes a lot sooner, and I just haven't because I felt like y'all have been a little stressed. But the thing is, a quiz does something. It makes you really study and internalize it. And when I've tried teaching Sanskrit with fewer quizzes, it doesn't go as well. But I will tell you, I am a generous quiz giver. So I will not include anything on the quiz that you haven't seen before. This means that I will directly extract from your worksheets and from Goldman to have the examples you'll be quizzed upon. I just don't think it's fair to give students Sanskrit they haven't seen. I mean, in addition to that, you have the PowerPoints, and I'll pull from the PowerPoints. But where am I going to pull from there? Probably the 3 or 4 verses we've chanted a couple of times, and a combination of examples from Goldman and the Guy Levitt examples. But you will not have anything on the quiz that you have not put your eyes on before. That I will always promise you, because it's not fair. Sanskrit's just too hard anyway. So as for Sandhi, I forgot. I planned something else. We have a whole other activity today that I forgot about that's fun. Okay, do you want to do the review first or the fun thing first?
Fun thing.
Fun thing, all right. Okay, so here comes the fun thing. Let me open this up here. So I was talking to Dr. Williams this morning. We're talking about, different strategies for teaching Sandhi. And he reminded me that one of the things that really helps students understand Sandhi is to realize that despite it's Sanskrit, it's a new language, you actually know some Sandhi already. We have a fair amount of Sandhi in English, in fact. So as we're moving right along here, we have the fun activity of English and Sandhi. So as we're talking here, break in, bust in, say, Dr. Ulrich, I thought of another example, and we'll talk about it. So Sandhi, as I've said before, it's about concision, it's about sound. That's why it's so important to read out loud as you're learning these Sandhi rules. It's about how your tongue does things naturally. And one of the funny things that Dr. Williams and I were talking about is My argument is like, oh yeah, that's a good way to put it. I'm like, your tongue already knows. If you can chant it out loud, your tongue will do the sandhis naturally. So it's like kind of learning to let your tongue be the speaker or the teacher. There is a phrase in Hindi and in Sanskrit, they say of someone who's very eloquent, they say he has Saraswati at his tongue, or Saraswati dances at his tongue. Saraswati is the goddess of language. So English Sandhi. Why do I have all these pictures here? Because they're pictures of IKEA fails. What is Sandhi? But it's taking parts of speech and shifting them to make something more beautiful. When you first encounter Sandhi, it looks, it's like this. You're like, what the heck is this? But in time, you see it to be lovely, elegant IKEA furniture. So here are some examples. And this is actually kind of one of my favorite ones. What are you doing? What you doing? What are you doing? All right, well, first, we're doing Sandhi. So Sandhi is actually the prefix sum plus the root krit. Krit means, sun plus the root d. D means to put, to hold, to make firm. So put well together is what Sandhi means. Now, you've seen that sun before. Sanskrit, our language, the well put together language. And if you look at the top here, you see that Sanskrit is sum, that same prefix, and krit. But where's that S come from? Anybody know where that little S comes from in Sanskrit? What do you think the answer is going to be?
What S are
Sandhi.
you referring to?
When
Can
you
you
have,
point at what you're talking about?
so Sanskrit, right? Sanskrit, our language. Why is there a little S in between that ma and that kra?
Is that the Visarga or hiatus?
You're so close. You're so close. It's that you put in a homo-organic sibilant here between a ma and a kra. So instead of it being Sanskrit, which would be something else, you have Sanskrit. So the sa comes in there, and that's a Sandhi rule we're going to learn as well. But in English, we have what you doing? What you doing? All right, what you doing? That's what are you doing? But you say what you doing. And that's kind of an interesting one because you're kind of almost in the Sanskrit world. Or when you have what are you doing? What are you doing? So you have what are you doing, but you have what becomes what and what are you doing? And then your ya goes from you to ya, and then doing becomes doing. So in English as well, what are you doing? What are you doing becomes what are you doing? Ta to da, and a ya, you're almost in Sanskrit here. That would be what? Would ya? Well, that one's harder. There you go.
We can't see you
Oh,
really. We
yeah,
can.
because it's yeah. So I was writing that so nice. So va, then that's double da plus a ya. I'm making it long, and that's doing. so that's your va makes a W sound often in Sanskrit. So my point is, what are you doing? Or what are you doing? This is similar to what's happening in Sandhi. Is when certain sounds come together, they'll be prettier sounding and more concise in English if you shift them around a bit. So Sandhi should not be considered to be something. Can you see my screen again? No. Hold on. We're doing it. So one of these days, I'll learn how to use Zoom well. We're getting there. But Sandhi is something that we might have been familiar with. Maybe some of you were alive in the 90s. You may have remembered the phrase, what's up? So we have, what do I say? What is up? What is up contracts. What's up? What's up? Then it gets shortened. It almost becomes, what's up? What's up? And then it becomes, what's up? And what does that mean? Play, you stupid video. Oh, I'm so irritated right now. I had this working earlier. Is it going to play? Do your thing. This was going to be so exciting and cool. Drat. Anyway, so I think some of you will know exactly where I'm going with this, and I don't care. I'm going to play it anyway. So I want you to think, as you watch this short video, I want you to think about how Sandhi works in English. Where are you, Zoom? Come here. Stop it. Zoom. You all there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear
Good.
you.
There we go. All right. So you see the screen. Here we go. Think, what's up? What is up?
Hello. Yo, what's up? Nothing, B. Just watching the game, having a bud. What's up with you? None. Watching the game, having a bud. True. True. What's that? What? Yo, what's that? Yo, you pick up the phone. Hello? What's that? What's that? Yo, where's Dookie? Yo, Dookie. Yo. Hold on. Hello? What's up, B? Watching the game, having a bud. True. True.
So my point being, we do Sandhi all the time. What's up becomes what's up, or as I'm a child of the 90s, merely sup. Sup G, one would say. And our accents are really good on this. There's a lot of great Southernisms to show Sandhi operating in English. There's a lot of great examples from Black English that I'll get to in a second. The Ebonics actually in Black English was a really hot topic in Michigan when I was in grad school. And the first textbook on Ebonics, which is fascinating linguistically, was actually written in Ann Arbor, Michigan. All right, so back to our little fun with Sandhi, Dr. Olry's being weird project. We have more Sandhi. So I had, my late brother was ridiculous, and he had a certain way of talking in which I noticed as I learned Sanskrit, he almost did a sort of Sandhi on his own. He loved to take sha sounds and make them cha, and then he'd yell at you. So if I was to say, and this is a classic interaction between me and my brother, let me see that knife, which you don't say, let me see that knife, you say, let me see that knife. So it's almost like, let me see, and then the and that. Let me see that knife. My brother would say, is it sharp? He would always say, is it a sharp knife? So there even his tongue knew that sha and cha are in the same place. This is where we'll see that our palatal chas have a homoorganic sibilant that is sha. And I can just hear my brother screaming across the room, shut your face, but he would never say shut your face. He'd say, shut your face. So not even shut your face, shut your face. That a sharp knife? Shut your face. Or he would joke that we were from Michigan, and he would always say Michigan, but that is spelled Michigan. So these were little weird things that my brother did. But when you think about it, when you hear somebody yell, you don't hear someone yell, shut up, you hear them yell, shut up. Almost like SHDDUP, shut up. So just little rude things from my brother. I found a wonderful cover song by the Super Suckers that cover the song Hey Ya, but I'm not going to go into it because there you hear the lead singer say, all right, but he doesn't really say all right. And you may remember the song Hey Ya by Outkast, where they say, all right, all right, all right. So it almost becomes all right or all right, all right, all right, all right. So I like to think about when I was in the South, people would always say, that's right. It's not that's right, that's right, that's right. So Sandhi, it's not that far off. Can anybody think of any of the other examples right now?
Y'all eat yet?
Ooh, what did you say?
Y'all eat yet?
Dolly get.
Did you all eat yet?
Oh,
Y'all eat yet?
y'all eat yet? Y'all eat yet? Yeah. So there's a comedian said, anybody coming to dinner? Yeah, your mom and them's. Your mom and them's. Your mom and them's. Y'all eat yet? Y'all eat yet? Yeah, and it even because the duh drops. Y'all eat yet? Question mark. Y'all eat yet? Or I remember this pal of mine was telling me that she was working at a golf course in Northern Carolina, and I don't know if this is a Sunday thing, but it amuses me. And she's telling me this story, and she says, and this guy, he was telling me that he was on the golf course and he saw an alligator, and I said, a crocodile? And he said, an alligator. We were eyeball to eyeball. Now, there's not a Sunday there, but I just like saying eyeball to eyeball. Anyway, the Southernisms are wonderful on this. So think about how Sunday happens. And now even think about when you're with your partner, your lover and whatnot, we tend to speak in stupid languages with them. I know I do. I have a funny little voice. And at one point, some roommates said, oh yeah, you do that with all your girlfriends. I've seen 3 now. It's really weird. Whatever. But I remember one funny little voice I had with a specific girlfriend that was about dogs and cats and whatnot. And before I get to that, I want to note that we have some other classic examples of Sunday. You say dogs and cats. It's not dogus, dogs. That's hard to say because ga and za, ga and sa are different parts of your mouth. Try it. Ga, sa, ga, sa. Now, ga, za, same part of your mouth. Homo-organic sibilants. So you got this. You don't say pause. You say pause. Because wa and za, same spot in your mouth. Sa and wa, different part of your mouth. And I remember having this interaction with a girlfriend of mine. We had a little cat. We had a kitten at the time. And I remember her saying, look at the little paws, look at the little mouth. But she actually said, look at the little pouse, look at the little mouse. And I thought, there's a Sunday there somehow. Little pouch, little mouse, very cute. But then think about the word little. Do you say little? No, you say little. Little. The ta is pronounced the da. Why do we do that? It's a bit. That's our convention. But it's also because these are the easier ways that words are pronounced rather than written because of the dynamics of our very, very human mouths. Here's another one. Crayfish. I don't say crayfish. I say crawfish. What's going on there? Is that just a shortening? But you go from crawfish to crawdad, and you go from crayfish, crawdad. Crawdad, that's all in the same spot in my mouth. Crayfish, crayfish, crawfish, better, crawfish, crawdad. Nice, crawdad, makes me happy. In Black English, you have 2 great examples I love. And these are, I get really irritated with people who don't understand linguistics because Black English is standard. It's rule driven. It's by no means like a degeneration or like a dialect or well, it's a dialect, but it's legit English. And it is as rules given as any modern standard American English. If you learn Hindi at some point, you'll discover that you can go to different parts of India and people speak different Hindi than modern standard Hindi, which they speak in like Delhi and Benares. You get up into the mountains and suddenly people speak regional Hindis that are significantly less fussy. You can just forget about gender. Hooray. Anyway, so let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Consistently, that SK can become a XA sound in Black English. Let me ask you a question. Now, that makes you wonder, ask, ax, ask, ax. It's not necessarily a Sunday change, but it's a change through usage that creates convention, just as Sunday is. A better one, I think, is fixing to, taking the sort of Southern American, I'm fixing to learn Sanskrit, and it becomes, I think in Southern Black English, but I'm used to hearing it in Northern Black English, I'm fin to learn Sanskrit. I don't think I've ever heard somebody say I'm fin to learn Sanskrit. I may have been the first person to say it, but I'm fixing to do that. I'm fin to do that, or I'm fin to do that, or however you would say it. And finally, I will tell a somewhat vaguely, could be racist joke, could be a Black English joke. The way it was told to me was racist, purely, but I still think the joke has a value to it. And there's a guy, and he's eating cheese. He's eating this big block of cheese. Another guy comes up to him and says, "Hey, where'd you get that cheese?" He says, I picked it up. I found it over there. It's really good. I think it fell off a truck or something. I really like it. I said, "Well, what kind of cheese is that? That is really good." He said, "Oh, it's nacho cheese." Nacho cheese? What does that mean? He's like, "I don't know. Some guy was yelling at me when I picked up the cheese. Says, that's nacho cheese. That's nacho cheese. But not your nacho. Think of that. Or the way we say, when somebody says, like, as if you would say naturally, we'll just say natch, which I had to ask someone. I'm like, "Why do you keep saying natch?" And they're like, "It's natural." I'm like, "Oh, I'm naturally an idiot." Natch. So Sandhi is not something that is completely foreign to you. It is found in English. All right. Yeah. It's finna. Yeah. In the north, I hear finda. And in the south, I hear finna a little bit more. But yeah, it's all over the place. But yeah, fixin' to. And I swear, maybe it was Western Michigan. There was a D in it. It's finda. Because my friend Emmanuel was always like, "I'm finda do that. I'm finda." But yeah, and then I remember when I lived in California in the South, it was more clearly just a straight Finna. So regional variations, but these all show the ways that we actually do in English Sandhi in our own way. Now, we are to the review part of the class. So we're going to do the review part of the class, and I'm going to give you a break, and then we're going to go back to the dreaded PowerPoint. So at this point, what I'm going to do, what I want you to do, is I want you to kind of take notes on this, but we're going to kind of get into it. So this one, lightning round, volunteers. I'm not calling on people, but if you've gotten one, don't go again until everybody's been through. So I have a list of 16 Sandhi examples. I will either put up the two words that need to go together, or I will put up the two words combined. And I want the person who answers to either put them together or break them apart and tell me what the rule is. And we're all going to learn these together. So our first one. That's it. First one is actually kind of a hard one, I think. I can never get that right. Maharishi.
Maharshi.
That was fast. Hardcore. Now am I spelling this right? Don't worry, I'm going to trip you up soon enough. I'm just going to spell stuff wrong. Maharshi. So what's our rule?
I believe that it's Maharshi without the long A. Like the collapsed.
Oh, you're right. Yes, because, and that's the rule. So what Atlas is getting to here is that when you have the Maha, then you have the Re, when they combine, you actually just get basically A, R with no syllable. So it's Maharshi, not Maharshi. Good catch. See, everybody makes mistakes.
I actually
Atlas,
went to
start giving you more
Maharshi International University, and so it's like a big topic of like everybody trying to correct everybody on how they're saying it.
Oh yeah, did you say you went to there?
For a semester, yeah. I ended up like looking up the Sanskrit of it in order to settle the like debate in my head.
Well, from now on, you just contact one of your Sanskrit teachers. You got plenty of them at this point. All right. We did the one. Pardon?
What was the rule?
The rule is long A or short or long A, short A or long A plus Re equals a Ra with a virama there. That's a terrible Ra on my part. That's much better. See how that works? So you'd have long plus Re equals A R.
It's weird because the vowel becomes a consonant.
It's
Yes.
interesting. It's a good way to remember it.
There isn't. You remember Maharshi as Maharishi.
Well, yeah, but I think it's a good way to remember it because it's like weird because the vowel becomes a consonant in that one, you know?
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and remember we saw that Ri, when it takes guna, becomes ra or ara. So here, I mean, that's a similar, it's not the same, but it shows you a similarity. All
I have
right.
a quick question. Wait, I have a super quick question. The line and then this little line underneath it, what's the difference between those two?
Okay, this line is what we call a virama. And a virama means there is no syllable. So if I go like ma, right? So that's ma, and I put a little thing like that, the virama, that means it's just ma with no
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You'll keep missing it, and then somebody says it one time, you see it, and you're like, oh, and then I got it, and then you forget it, and then you learn it again, and that's how Sanskrit works. Like the thing is that Ben and I were talking about today is you don't really learn Sandhi when you first learn Sandhi. The Sandhi really makes sense only when you're reading regularly. And he was saying that at this point, he has transliterated the entirety of the Tantra Loka and broken all the Sandhis. And he said as he was doing this over about a year, that's when all of the Sandhis finally, after years of study, really clicked. So why do we teach Sandhi? We teach it because you need to get the initial experience so you can look it up and know what it is later. All right.
Dr. Oli, sorry.
I have a
Real
quick question.
Yes.
The way that you just drew the A, with that rule, the long A and short A plus a re becomes a AR.
Yes.
It was it was the like 3 part of the A. Then shouldn't there be a line? Let me just
It would be A-R.
Okay, that's what I need to say.
A-R.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's how you get to Maharshi. And now we know. So now, the next example, I'm going to give it to you like this. I want you, I'll try to walk away from it. So here, we're also practicing the script. And you'll see me, being dyslexic, has to look at it every time so I spell it right. So, sa, odinum. Combine sa and odinum. You remember that sa means she and odinum means rice. So our example was she cooks rice.
Jordan.
Saudana.
Aha! Yes, baby. Love it. Truth be told, I often forget this one. So you have long A or short A plus O equals ow. So sa, odinum, saudanum. And again, say it out loud. Sa, odinum, sa, odinum, saudanum, sa, odinum, saudanum, 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 sa, odinum, saudanum, saudanum, sa, odinum, saudanum, saudanum. Scare children, yes. All right, questions on this one? We're doing great so far. All right, that one's a little, I started with the Maharshi one because that's a tricky one. Like what Josh was saying, is it you?
Yeah, I
Josh
said it.
with Bree?
I'm with Bree. Yeah.
Yeah, you're Josh though. I'm terrible with names. Again, the dyslexia is strong with this one. So as Josh was saying, it's a tricky one because your vowel, you would think it would just do something with vowels, but it becomes a consonant. Why? Because ras and re's are weird. All right, next one. Tell me what the Sandhi is. So that's hey, which is an interrogative. It's just like saying hey in English. What's my Sandhi?
Is there one with hey?
Is there one?
No.
short A.
No, there is not. There is no Sandhi here. I will also accept Ho, Arjuna. See, I put a little line there because I was busy. Or also just straight up Ha with nothing. It's just Ha. So that's HA. So here, HA, HE plus HO, no Sandhi. If it's calling to someone. Also, there's another one that is Bo, which will also be this way. So that's Bo, and that also has no Sandhi. So you would say a common phrase in certain literature is you would say Bo Brahmana. It's like, hey there, Brahmana, Bo, I'm calling to you, Bo Brahmana. All right. Questions. How do you remember this one? Remember with interrogatives. And just think of it like you're saying, hey, you guy, or hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. When you say hey, buddy, you don't do anything. It's just hey, buddy. There's your rule. It's the hey, buddy rule.
So ha.
I had a late friend who his name was Scott, and everybody at the house I lived in was named Scott ridiculously. So I just called him hey, buddy. Okay. Question.
So ha has no Sandhi associated with it, like ha, hey,
When,
or he.
when
like
it is
he does?
used as an interjection, when it's like popping in there to be like, hey, you. So it will now regular ha as just a ha in a word or at the end of a word will have Sandhi. But if it's used as an interrogative particle, like hey, then it doesn't. Right. That was solid. You guys are crushing this one. Crushing this one. Oh, baby. This one's hard. Real hard. Na plus udika. Na means no. That's a negation. Indo-European, no. And udika means water. No water.
Notica.
Notica, exactly. No ducka. This is where we're internalizing it. So what's our rule? Long A, short A plus oo equals O. And I really just memorize notica. No water, notica. No water, notica. And as you're reading along, you'll see something that'll look like a na and an oo, like udumburu, the udumburu fruit. Na, nodumburu, no udumburu. So, and when you see a suspicious O, think that it might be na and oo. Now, I keep telling you suspicious things. When we get to our first reading session, that's when a lot of this will come together because you'll be learning and practicing Sandhi with every sentence we do. And remember, Sandhi is ongoing. So as I progress teaching you, I'm going to work through all the examples in Goldman. That's how my Sanskrit pundit taught me. And I was talking to Dr. Williams about that, and that's very much how he learned as well. At one time when he took Sanskrit, I think he actually took it twice the first year to really get it down. I'm jealous of him. So we work through the examples, and every time I'm writing an example to you, you're going to get demonstrations of Sandhi. And Goldman's pretty cool in that he is elucidating different kind of Sandhi rules in every example to kind of get it all in your head. So if you don't have it right away, that's fine. This is the first pass. All right, here we go. That long uppy? No, it's short. Confuse my adi and my uppy. Deve plus uppy. How do I put those together?
Little why? Yeah, why?
Ooh, no, but I see why you're doing that.
Is
This is a
it
sneaky one. The
Dave-
important thing to remember is this is a short A.
Dave P? So you drop the first A.
Who's speaking right there?
It's Devin.
Devin, fine work. Solid. Now, you'll all remember that this has been a bit of the bane of your existences. It's that funny S thing. So when you say this, deve uppy, deve, now say it with it. Deve uppy, deve uppy, deve uppy, deve uppy, deve p, deve p, deve p. You'll see that even if you say dave uppy, you will, if you hear me say dave yuppy, see how I want to put that ya there? So I don't put that ya there, you drop the So when you have an E, when you have an A at the end there, plus a short not a long only the short you get this thing, which is called an awa graha. Awa graha. Question on that one. S.
So would I possibly be proper in extrapolating that A plus equals this awagraha situation where you yes, but the A plus would equal I.
Yes. So if we were going to go, let's just do that. Let's just do that. So if you're looking at Dave they plus you said a long plus a long A, so it's a long A word.
Ananda.
Ananda, that's a better one. I'm like Akshobha. We don't need that. Ananda, that's a good one. Ananda. Now remember here, that's where you get the da and you get a na that comes off. The na is the significant bit. So when you're looking at A here, what you're actually looking at is this. What's that called?
Virama.
Virama. So it's that. And then the A, this E sound, is actually an plus an E. And then plus the nanda. So when you see the A, realize that there's an E there. Then there's a simple transformation. You've got your Dave. The stays. Then the E becomes a ya. And then you just simply add it on. So long A goes on there. Non da.
So
Dave
when do you
Yananda.
go from A to I?
Pardon?
So when do you go from A to I?
Oh, you mean to AI?
Yes.
From A to we'll see. I can't conjure it up out of my head right now. Sorry. But I can find that for you. Remind me at the break and I'll have it for you. All right. So that was a little preface of how we do what we call complex vowels. So that was an excellent exercise. Thank you for proposing it. All right. Now we are at a really gnarly one, but I think you're going to do great. Jaya. Long Jaya Twa. Have to look longer. Yeah, Aryaputra. Said out loud. Jayatwa Aryaputra. Jayatwa Aryaputra. Jayatwa Aryaputra. Sorry. Aryapatra's father. That's son. So this is son, noble, Jayatu. Remember that two that I talked to you about before is an imperative, and your Sanskrit root there is G. How do I break that down? Well, what are my two words? Well, there's 3 words, but what are my 2 main elements where there's a Sandhi?
Jaya. And the second part. Sorry.
So that's Aryaputra, but the
Mhm.
word is Jayatu.
Ah,
Okay, explain it to me.
okay.
So what
So
you're
the
really
second-
explaining is this part.
Okay, so Arya Putra is the second part.
Yeah, that's Arya Pu. English is hard. Aryaputra. So what's this?
Oh, something's becoming a V. Jaya.
You're right. What becomes the V?
Ooh.
I remember.
Ooh. Jaya, the ooh. The ooh? Jaya 2.
Yes, that's exactly right. Jaya 2 plus Aryaputra means Jaya Twaryaputra. So our rule here, oo plus long A equals VA. And now, just for fun, remember we have G becomes J. Why? Because it's guna. Remember I went over this in class? So G becomes J. Why? Because it's guna. I'll explain that later. Now, J plus why is it because that's what you do with the verb in this class. You don't need to know that. And then 2, as I said over and over again, remember we looked at bhava 2 as well. 2 is an imperative. However, if you have an E here, E is a complex vowel. And what does it consist of? E. So E, so we have just the j. And then we have our complex vowel, which will be an plus an E plus the for the verb case, and then the ending. How's that all going to come together? Why does that become Jayatu?
Because the I turns into a Y.
Yes, your I turns into a ya. So then when you put it all together, this becomes a ya, and you get Jayatu. And if you have Jayatu and it meets Aryaputra, then what happens? What happens is the U becomes a va, and you get Jayatwa Aryaputra. What does this mean? Jayatu means be victorious. Be victorious, O son of a noble one, or O noble son. Look at all that Sanskrit you guys are doing. Crushing it. Crushing it. I don't know, all this Sanskrit, my board is afraid of all the things you're doing to it. This sad board. My students are crushing my board, crushing it. Crush, crush. All right. This motherfucking example. Ben and I were actually chuckling about how hard this one was because he gave this example to me out loud and I laughed. I said, yeah, we pretty much use all the same examples because they're all out of Goldman. All right, here we go. Tasmai, which is ablative. It means to him. And then we have a past tense verb. It's a reduplicating aorist, but we don't need to know that right now. What's the Sandhi? Tasmai adat. What happens here?
Is it Tasma Adat?
That is exactly what it is. Are you looking through your notes or is this something that you know?
Both.
Very good. Explain to me.
So the I turns into a long A.
All right.
Tasma.
Tasma.
And then the first vowel stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
and you keep the space between them.
Well, that's exactly right, but we've got a couple of interesting things. Why isn't this why isn't it that? Shouldn't I put those two together?
You don't-
No,
But why not? Why not? We went over this
because
briefly. Why not?
because that would mean that they were two short A's coming together, right?
Well, no. Long A plus short A is fine. So long A plus short A equals long A. You can remember that long A, short A plus long A, short A always equals So that's right. That's theoretically correct, but I would never write this from this. Why not? I glanced over this. I didn't explain it very well. I'll explain it to you really clearly now. Does anybody have a guess?
Because you only perform Sandhi once.
Yes, Sandhi only goes in once. You don't keep Sandhiing. In manuscripts, they actually do. They break this rule all the time. It's totally irritating. But in classical proper Sanskrit, you only do Sandhi once. So you would not, after you've gone through Sandhi once, you're like, okay, I'm done. I don't have to keep repeatedly doing Sandhi, which is something that like students initially learning Sandhi and reading will try to do Sandhi too many times. One trip through Sandhi, you're done. You can just tap out early. You're good. You're like, I'm good. I'm good with Sandhi. But we haven't gotten to why this I plus equals long A and an independent
Does this only happen in Vowel Sandhi, or is this does my example extend to any consonants?
This is a vowel Sandhi one. So the answer that I'm looking for is when anytime you see this I, you have to realize that what's going on in an I is an that's long plus an E. So what you've got here is tusma, tussum, and then our plus here is ada. And this actually says he gives to him. So in this case, when short I connects in a compound here, connects with short A, in the compound of I, it just drops off. Will you see this a lot? No. Will it trip you up? Yes, because you will forget it. I mean, our conversation this morning was Ben said, yeah, last year I finally internalized that rule. So that's a tricky one. You're not going to see it a lot, but this is, again, you just need to be aware of it so you can look it up later. We're moving right along. How's everybody doing so far? This helping?
Good.
Are you feeling more confident? That's what I want to hear you be more confident. Maybe, yes, no, maybe so. All right. Did someone say something?
Bree's not confident. I have no
Bree, Bree, you know what though? I am confident that this one you're just gonna demolish. Gotcha me. Iti vadati. This is a full Sanskrit sentence. Verb, vadati, to speak. Iti, it's like a quotation mark. And gachami means I am coming, or I come, or I go. So what is my Sandhi? We've got short I plus short I equals?
long I.
Yes, read it for me, Bree. Tell me what it is. Tell me how to spell it. You tell me how to spell it. I'm going to spell it.
G-A.
Okay.
G. Cha. Good.
So that's a compound, that's our compound complex consonant, compound consonant. So what's this?
Cha.
No, it's a cha. So it's gacha. Now what do I do?
I gotcha me.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Is that a long eye or short eye?
Long.
Why is it a long eye? You're exactly right.
Yes, the two eyes.
Because of the guna.
No, it is not guna. Good guess, though. I like that. It's not guna. It's because I plus I equals long I. This is just like A plus A equals
Oh, okay.
long A. See how that works? So, gachami iti vadati. He says iti vadati gachami. Gachami iti. Gachamiti. So you would say it if you're reading it, gachamiti. Gachamiti vadati. Not gachami iti vadati. Gachami. Gachamiti vadati. See, I told you had that one. All right. We're moving right along. We're over half done with these. Y'all are crushing things. See, this Sandhi ain't no thing. And honestly, the thing is, it will make so much more sense as you just repeatedly encounter it. You're going to practice these rules every time you read Sanskrit. And then at a certain point, it's like you've put all this time in, getting all these things in your head, right? And then suddenly you're reading and you'll read a sentence in Sanskrit and you'll know what all the words are immediately. Your brain just like, it's like, how to put it this way? It's like there's all this pressure constantly going, or it's like how a clutch hits the flywheel. All right, nobody knows what that is anymore. It's like you put all this effort in and then suddenly it sticks and like the gears come together in your head and boom, it just moves. But to get there, you have to do all of this work getting into your head. That's why Daniel-san has to paint the fence, scrub the floor so we can learn Kung Fu. I always want to just punch him in the face because I don't like Daniel-san. But that's a whole other ballgame. All right. This one. This is a great word. I love this word. Eeps. Long eye, short eye. Eepsy. Petri ipsitum. Where is my Sandhi?
Between the ri and the I, the short I,
Between
the P3 and
oh
the
yeah. Did I get that right? P3, yeah. No, I gotta P3 P-tripsitum. See, even I got that one screwed. Mostly because it's hard to write. Sorry, I screwed that one up. Totally on me. P-tripsitum. P-tripsitum. What are the original words? This is where your Sandhi is. Yeah.
Ipsitum.
Ipsita. Yes, exactly. Ipsita. Desired. And Petri means father. This red marker sticks. So we've got, that's worthless. Got this guy right here. So we've got Petri. But how do I spell Petri? Is it spelled with a little I?
No, with the ri.
Exactly. Exactly. This one's hard for me to remember. And then so you have straight up on its own, that's a long I. Ipsitum. Pitripsitum. So Petri plus ipsitum equals Pitripsitum. What's our rule? Re plus long I here equals just a ra. The re becomes ra, kinda. Well, actually becomes a ra plus I. So what you're remembering is re plus re equals r e. So our re becomes r and the e stays the same. So that's the change, is re to r. So this is the same as Maharshi. It's a little bit of a callback. All All right. Almost. Maybe I chose too many examples. I don't know. This is fun. This is glorious for me. All right. Plus, we're getting you ready for your quiz. Okay. Now, I'm not going to do that one because I did that already. Okay. This one sucks. This will trip you up. All right. What is Swarge Indra? Swarge in heaven. Indra. Indra is in heaven. So what we're asking here is what happens when E plus short I plus short I? Yeah, Alex.
I think that the E just changes to an A, and that's the only change.
Yeah. It's Swarga Indra. Now that short A at the end, that's almost always locative. It almost always means in something. So what we're looking at here is that you have Swarg, right? That, come here, you. So you have Swarg. What's that thing? What do we call that thing? Swarg. We call that a virama. Everybody remember virama. And what that's an E. And E equals a plus I. Short I. But it doesn't become this does not become a ya. When you are looking at any non-A vowel, so E plus anything that's not A, as long as it's not an A, if you have an A, if you have an O, if you have an ow, so any non-A vowel. What happens is this just goes bye-bye, and you're left with Swarga Indra. Got it? That's an exception that will come up. So it's just, this is one where you just kind of be aware if you think there's a locative. I'll explain what a locative is when we get to chapter 4. That usually ends in A. It can, and you see a Swarga, it could be a locative. Because you look at it initially and you think Indra is Swarga. Indra is heaven. But in fact, it's saying Indra is in heaven because there's a Swarge there. All right, real quick. You suck. Sanskrit root boo. How does it become? Give me the guna of boo.
Oh.
Remember, what's the guna of oo?
Oh. Bo.
Oh. Comes bo. I'm just going to do this one in English for you. Bo actually is ba with an plus an oo, and then ati. So that's just an because that's the class, and English is hard. And then t is the verbal ending. So when we resolve this in internal Sandhi, you have the ba there and the oo. What does that do?
Turns to a V.
Yes. So that's ba. Oh, I said bava t, bava two. Bava two. So that's your internal Sandhi. Now, that's similar. Boy, I wonder if this is going to be on your quiz. Sanskrit root, huge. Give me the guna of oo. So huge turns into a common word when guna is applied. What is that word?
Yoga.
I will slap you. if I was to say strengthen it, so it's the vriddhi form of yoga, what would it be? The swollen form.
Yoga.
It'd be yoga. So guna of u is o. Vriddhi of u is ow. Yeah. You all better know that one. Yoga studies, you masters, you. All right, we're really close. All right, let's do this one. Come on, let's just have some fun with this one. Bahudika. Woo. Bahudika. Where's my Sandhi? I'm making you go back and forth on these to kind of just code them in your head differently. So this means bahu means lots of. Udika means water. That means lots of water. What's my Sandhi rule here?
A plus
Hmm?
A plus O equals U.
Bahu plus Udika. What's my rule? Is that Tessa? Tell me the rule.
U plus U equals long U.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. So U plus U equals U. There you go. You got that one. Nailed it. Bahudika. Getting close, getting close, getting close. All right, we already did yoga. We already did use. Oh, yeah, baby. This is a good one. This is a Guy Levitt one. Let's see. Vayo plus atra. Atra. Here, bird. Vayo. Here, there's a bird. What's my Sandhi rule? O plus short A.
Oh.
Vayo plus atra. So O sound plus plus short equals
Viotra.
yes, in fact. Why I want to make that a B for some reason. Let me just write this out here because I want you to see it. This is how you would write it in diacriticals. You'd put a little like line right there, like an apostrophe. In Sanskrit, here it comes. What do we call that guy? The funny little S. What do you call that? Avagraha. Yes, exactly. It's avagraha. Fantastic. All right, really quick, let's do this one. What are my two words here? Remember this one forever. Choppy. What are my two words? Where's my Sandhi?
Copy. Copy.
It's choppy, but what are the two words? What are the two words?
Chop.
Chop, and what's the other one?
Uppy.
Yes, exactly. So choppy. Again, A, long A plus A or long A equals long A. And then the last one, you all have made it all the way through. Let's just flip it around. I wish I had something fun written on there that would be all exciting, but there isn't. So here is the last example. Cha plus cha plus aushadha. You may remember that I talked about oshadha means a medicine, and an aushadha is a doctor. And if I remember, it's what? That's that oo right there, or ushad. I think it's like that. So note right there, swara, guna, vriddhi. So what is cha plus aushada? What is a plus au? The last one. I know you're tired. You're going to break after this. Right. I see your name there. What's my answer?
It's uh, it
All right. Let's
Eight.
take a quick second and remember this one. Sa odanam. She cooks a lot of rice, becomes saudanam. It's the same rule. So apply this rule to this one. That's long A plus O.
Okay. So it'd be cow.
Oh, what? Huh? I think you just made the noise.
Cowda?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So, sorry, I did this wrong. That's plus O equals ow. So here we have chow, sha, da. So cha. So Riley, say after me. Cha plus O equals ow.
Cha plus O equals ow.
Right. So cha plus oshada is chow shada. Oh, chow shada. So say cha plus oshada is chow shada.
Chow plus Oshida is chow shida.
Perfect. Now read this one. Sa plus odanam is?
Sa plus Odinum is saudanum.
Yes, exactly. Perfect. You got it. You nailed it. Perfect. Yes, 100%. A plus. You get a rubber cigar. Wonderful. Take a break, kids. You did a fantastic job. I will call you kids because I can. Back in 5. You did great. We're going to go to the PowerPoint. Great work, everybody.
Professor Ulrich,
Yes.
I feel like I am understanding the external Sandhi, but I am not understanding the internal Sandhi.
Well, I didn't understand it until about year 4. That's okay.
Okay.
Internal Sandhi is harder than external Sandhi, but if you learn them kind of at the same time or just have an awareness of the internal as you're doing the external, it helps a lot, as we'll get to more of it later. And I'm not kidding. When you get to like chapter 20, the internal Sandhi becomes a really big deal. And you're like, well, I'm on chapter 3. Why are you making me do a thing for chapter 20? Because some of the internal Sandhi will really get internalized just by learning vocabulary. But
why would we ever take like yoga, for example, to yoga? Like,
I'll tell you. So the example would be if I had a Sanskrit, or if I was speaking a Sanskrit sentence, I would say sa yoga karoti. He does yoga. But if I wanted to say he was a swami or an expert in yoga, I could say yoge swamin. He is an expert in yoga, or I could just refer to him as yoga. So if I said he was a yoga asti, he is an expert in yoga. So yoga, you could have, in a way, there's this thing called compounds. So when you read the Yoga Sutras, those are 2 words that go together to become the title. Yoga Sutras. But you could also write them separately and say, like I could say, Te Sutrani, these sutras, yoga, are about yoga.
okay, kind of, sort of.
You only need to kind of get this. Again, so much of this is you just get it on the first pass, roll it around the head, and then we'll be working on a lesson in like 3 months, and you'll go, oh, that's why that's important. And really, the experience of Sanskrit is just progressively internalizing the grammar until suddenly you're reading, like I say, in the wild, and you go, oh, that's how that works.
Yeah.
And you'll just see it happen. Because the thing you have to remember is grammar is not, it's natural, but it's not. Grammar develops after language. So there was yoga and yoga before there was a rule for why yoga and yoga are related. So as you're reading right along and you're just reading Sanskrit, you'll understand the meaning of something. And then suddenly the grammar will pop into your head and you go, oh, that's why that does that. And so much of Sanskrit is just repeatedly having that experience of, oh, that's why that does that. So what you have to do is take the first trip through, and the first year of Sanskrit is really just making an awareness of the rules. And then every time you read, the rules come to life. I mean, Sanskrit grammar is still coming to life to me, and I learn new things about it all the time. So it's a progressive journey of taking first year Sanskrit, jamming it all in your head, and then seeing it in the wild in principle. Like learning the Sandhi, when we go and we read a Sanskrit passage, you'll be practicing Sandhi all the time. In fact, I mean, if we went back to some of the verses we chanted in classes, you would see the awagraha, and you'll see a bunch of the stuff I'm about to teach you next.
Okay, thank you.
For what it's worth, you don't seem terribly satisfied. I'm sorry.
I'm becoming more comfortable with not really understanding what's going on, and then like a few weeks later, something will shift and I'll kind of get it.
Like, and what you were describing is how you learn a language, any language, and it's really how you learn anything. So one of the weird things about learning Sanskrit is you're going to learn English grammar better than you ever knew it before, because you're going to learn Sanskrit grammar, and that will help you see English grammar in a completely different way. I had a professor that always said, I can't teach you grammar. You have to go learn French. Go learn French and you'll understand English grammar. You have to be able to see it from the outside. Yeah. So much of learning in general and of learning a language is just this experience of being unfamiliar. And like we were talking about in cognitive science, you're getting all those error codes. Like, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, error code, error code, error code. Just like learning this script that you can now read. At first, they were just funny lines. Then they were kind of patterns. Now they're become letters, and they're going to become words in time. But it's getting over all those error codes until you can predict the patterns and you have the structures in your head so that you look at something and understand it and don't have an error code anymore. But in the learning process, it's just error, 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 error. And Sanskrit will humble you.
Yeah.
You got this. You're going to get there. Whew. Yes, Alice.
I have a couple of questions. My first one is specifically in relation to Vayo plus Atra.
Sure.
What rule is that specifically that it wouldn't like, or on the opposite side of this, what rule am I confusing? That it wouldn't become say like Vaya Vatra. Like why wouldn't the O and the A become
so you're asking
why, or why wouldn't they become AU otherwise?
Yeah, why doesn't it become this, right? And then plus Atra.
Yes, that's one possibility I see, and the other one being like the O plus A becoming AU.
Yeah. With this O plus what?
Yes.
The O plus O. So you're saying why doesn't O plus OW equal AU? Well, it would. It would if this wasn't a short A. And the other thing to remember is this is purely external Sandhi. So really, to state this fully and in full grammatical structure, I would say when O is in the absolute final position of a word and it precedes a short only a short in the initial portion of a word, the is dropped. So O in final position of a word plus in initial position of a word, there you drop the short but if it was a long it would remain. What would you do there? If you had a long it would be, see if I can remember this. So via, and then you'd have right, plus oo. So that's your O plus, I don't know, ananda. That's gonna be my example from now on. What do you think that would be? I'll let you take a stab at it before I tell you.
So would it be like Vayavananda?
Exactly. You exactly got it right. It would be, I'm running out of space. That would be with a long A, would be, so there's your goes on there. There's your va. The va doesn't, the va basically has a virama on it, and then you would add ananda. So Vahayavananda. Vananda. There's another knot in there. Yeah.
So would it be proper to make a rule saying that O in the absolute final position when preceding a vowel other than short A will collapse into a short A and a V?
Well, yes. Yes, because the oo will always, the O will always get reduced to an and an oo. So that will almost always reduce down to effectively of. So what you're doing right now, Atlas, and I really appreciate this, is something that I definitely had to do, is I had to make up my own coded rules. So, you know, what I would have done, what I think I remember doing on this one was I coded it O, and then I memorized O. What I said O plus short and then I would do another one and go O plus long and then I would make a little note like or, just a little note there to just tell me, like, you know, so through or something like that, if you want to think like that, equals, so this one is utra, so that's short so your short elides there, and then this one, it would be how do we say it? That would be the, and then whatever else is. So you have a long A there, or it could be an O or whatnot like that. So yeah, it's a good trick to kind of look at Goldman and reduce it into like symbolic language in a way that you can remember. But I also say when you're doing this, don't try to just memorize these. So you should try to memorize plus long or anything else equals, you know, short A, V, and then the other letter. And then remember Vayavananda. And then here, when you're remembering O plus short A equals awagraha, say O plus, memorize O plus short A equals awagraha, and then Vayotra. So memorize the example along with, so you're, in that way, your brain codes words in, and it's not just pure patterns. Now, if you're like a great mathematician or a logician, you might not need the example. For me, I have to memorize it with the example or it just doesn't stick. Because when you're memorizing the example, you're also memorizing its application as well as the principle.
So let's say you see a final O. What are your total options? Are they basically, if it's before a short A, that becomes abugra. If it's before any other vowel, it becomes AV. Is it for any other consonant, it also becomes AV, or does it remain O?
All right, hold on, let's look at it. So let's say we're just going to stick with vaya. Vaya. Short atra. Long nanda. That would be, your vio would become via the, and it would be plus Ananda. So you would memorize that one as Vayavananda. So that is, and then if we had, let's say, E, Indra, you would go Va, Yo, Vaya, yeah, it would be Vaya Vindra. So it'd be Vaya Vindra. Then you wanted to have a consonant, all right? So we've got Va, Yo. And I have a consonant like Kaki, which means crow or bird. Vayokaki. It just doesn't connect. If they're independent, but it would probably have an awagraha or so. It would have something in there. So if it hits a consonant, if O hits a consonant, nothing really happens. However, we have to remember when O hits a short A, that's the one that's going to trip you up. This is not going to trip you up. Vayavendra or Vayavananda, that you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's an O that turned into an of. You'll just know that. But yeah, so what you're really getting at here is O plus short equals awagraha, and then O plus any other vowel, let's say E, is gonna equal va, and then that vowel. So A, V, I. And then the awagraha is just when you write it out in diacriticals, it's vayo, and then you just put a little line there and tra. So if you're reading transliterated and you see that little single like possessive, whatever you call that thing, right now, that's what it is. Okay.
Now, can this ultimately all be reduced to basically if you see an O and you're performing Sandhi, it's the O itself is either going to remain or it is going to become an AV that coalesces?
It will be an O, it will be an AV, or it will become the awagraha.
I think that's different than that's different than the notes I have from Dr. Williams, I think. That O plus any vowel other than short A, I have the final O would turn to an A, and then there's a space, and then the initial vowel stays the same. I only have a V with a U.
Okay. Hold on. So say give me your example again. I think I know what's going on. Say it one more time.
He gave as an example, well, this is he gave Bhaja Anandam. I know it's, he gave Bhaja plus Anandam. I know that's E, but he was saying that E and O have the same rule.
So Bhaja and then Anandam.
Yeah.
So Bhaja plus Anandam. And what did he say it was?
Bhaja space Anandam.
Bhaja. Oh yeah. So that's our other rule. That's this one. Swarge Indra becomes Swarga Indra.
But it's not the same with a final O.
With a yes, it is. That happens with the A and the O. So you have with no. With the final O, you're getting the tra. My brain's not doing this right now.
You're getting the tra because it's a short A. It's an O plus a short A on the initial vowel. But if it's an O plus a long A, then I think it would be the same rule.
It wouldn't be elided. It would be Bhaja would become Vajayananda. For some reason, that's what I'm saying in my head. And he's saying I'm sure he's right. What's he saying it is? Bhajananda?
Bhaja space Anandam.
Space Ananda. That's probably because this Bhaja here has one of these little guys on it that's elided, and I'm going to get to that in just a minute. That's what I'm thinking it is.
We can't actually see the bottom of the board right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have any word with a final E or O plus any vowel except for a short A. The final vowel turns to an A. There's a space and the initial vowel stays the same.
Let me see here. Where's my, here we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, it's fine. Stop it. Stop it.
That does agree with the Sandhi grids as well.
Yeah, well, that's correct. I'm getting on a different, here we go. All right, so we have final A, go down to Guy Levitt, which is always the right way to go. Let me share my screen real quick. I wouldn't be surprised if I was making something up because I was thinking about too many things at once. That happens with me. Okay, so you have final A plus short A gets awagraha. You see here, final O plus a short A gets awagraha. Agne, so that's final A plus long A equals, yeah, that's right. Sorry. I was doing something else there, but yes, that is the rule. I'm sorry if I confused you there. I was putting two different ideas together because I was running too fast. But yes, so bagne plus a equals awaha. So or equals just it keeps its long A. So if it's agne plus e, it would be agna e. If it's agnau, it would become what am I doing here? Yeah, it would become agna. If it's agnau, it's still agna awahe. So e plus any vowel other than short A equals ending in the little e, and then it retains that long vowel. What I was doing is, in fact, I was doing what you would do when, not when two words come together in absolute final position, but when you're combining words inside a compound. You don't need to know that yet. The principles were all good, but you're right. I'm sorry if I confused you there. All right, we need to get back to work here, y'all. Where is everybody here? What do I got? I got 9 people. All right, close enough. Okay, so we have to get to our PowerPoint. Here we go. Stop share, make it work, make it work. Where am I? There we go. Perfect. Why aren't you doing that? Do the thing. Do the thing I'm asking you to. Do the thing I'm asking you to. There we go. No. There we go. Okay. So when we're looking at the vowel chart or the chart of our syllables. Now you might remember I was saying this at the end of class. The next set of rules will depend on whether something is voiced or unvoiced. Now I remember it as a pattern, but I often have to print this out to remember what's voiced and unvoiced because that's how my brain works. So unvoiced are ka, cha, ja, ta, 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 pa, pa. There, if you put your hand on your throat, you'll hear ka, cha, cha, ta, 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 pa, ba. And you'll feel a little bit of vibration. When you get to the voiced ones, however, ga, ja, ja, da, da, ba, ba. There's a big buzz there. Also, ya, ra, la, va, and na, ma. So your nasals, what we call these liquids, or the sonorants, ya, ra, la, va, and the far off to the right column are all voiced. Unvoiced are your far to the left column, along with sha, sha, sa, ha, and la. So those are your unvoiced. So we're going to go back to that. Now, what we're getting to in this lesson is a final s sound. So what you'll see throughout most Sanskrit is in sentences, due to the way the language sort of works, there are often these silent suds. So if we take, for instance, Om, Namo, Shivaya. What you are also seeing here is Om, Namaha. If you had a different word like, it's not Shivaya, what's Om Namaha Durga, if I remember right. Om Namaha Durgaya. We'll go Durgaya for now.
Can you make your screen the big screen?
Oh crap.
I just double clicked on your face and it jumped to the big screen.
Oh, try double clicking on my everybody try double clicking on my face. So the big thing is, what I want you to see is, like, this is actually na, ma, ha. Will also be na, ma, s. So that little ha sound, that little visarga, is all actually a little sa. So what we're going to see is the visarga sound is either a sa with a virama, so just s, or it's a ra with a virama on it. We really only see this in one word, but it comes up all the time, which is punar, means again. So the implications of this are when you have that S sound without a vowel at the end, it will change depending on the vowel that precedes it and whether the vowel that it's coming into contact with is voiced or unvoiced. So at this point, we need an example. If you have a non-A vowel and it's in the final position, that sa sound will just become a visarga, just those two little dots on top of each other. So here are some examples. Agnis becomes agnihi. So the sa becomes that ha sound, the visarga. So if you have a non-A vowel and you have that little sa at the end of it, which most words have, and I'll explain that why in chapter 4, then it just becomes a standing visarga. You don't have to worry, there are no big changes. So if you just see a visarga there, the visarga are the two little dots up and down, then it's just a sa sound, a sa without a virama. Going down further, bahuhu, or bahus, so many things. There with the u, bahus just becomes bahuhu. So it becomes a visarga, and you just have that little extra breath at the end. Or if you have cartris, which is an agent, and I forgot the ra on there a little bit, but you'll get the point. That cartris, you leave the re right there, and you just make it a visarga. So what's your rule here? Any non-A vowel plus that sa sound without a vowel on it, so with a virama, becomes a visarga. That's the easy one. Now, things get a little more tricky. Now, the sa sound, that sa that's at the end of everything, before any voiced initial becomes ra. Here's this other thing. All vowels and all voiced consonants are, so all vowels are voiced and all voiced consonants. So what are our voiced consonants? Back here, voiced consonants. All of these, all the things on the right and yara lava are all voiced. So before a voiced initial, the sa becomes a ra sound. So here, and you'll encounter this one often, you have Agnis plus Eva. Can anybody guess what that'll be if the sa sound just turns into a straight ra? Somebody just take a guess.
Agniriva.
Exactly. Now, you'll notice that I'm also using some of the Sanskrit numbers here. So that's a Sanskrit number 1. Our number system in English, the Roman system, well, it's actually called the Arabic system of numerals, is actually not derived from Arabic, it's derived from Sanskrit. In fact, the Arabs, when they picked up the numbering system, picked it up from Sanskrit. So you, in fact, are pretty close to know the numbers are not that different. That said, I have trouble remembering them. So I look them up all the time. So this one's a little easier because you've seen an example. Agnis plus Eva equals Agniriva. Vishnos plus Ayudham. So Ayudham is a weapon. Now, Yudha, we've seen before. Remember those battle-ready warriors, desirous of battle? Yud, the root yud, to do battle. A thing that does battle, from the Sanskrit root yud, is ayodham, or ayudham. If you went further, it would be ayodham. And what is Ayodhya? That's the place where Rama lives. So it gets tricky. Anyway, Vishnos plus Ayudham. Vishnos of Vishnu. So that's in the genitive. Explain that later. So who wants to take a guess at Vishnos Ayudham?
Vishnor
Bam! Bishnor Yudham. Bishnor Ayudham. So there we're also practicing our Sandhi. So Vishnos plus Ayudham. Vishnos is a vowel. So we'll note that it's a voiced initial because it's a vowel. Ayudham. And then the sa sound before any voiced initial becomes a ra. So here we go when we have actually a sentence. Gatis nasti. Now, a plus a equals long a. Na means no. Asti means he is. So, gatihi. Gatihi means something like, it means he's going or something like that. It's kind of a weird word, but together, gatihi becomes gati na asti. How would the sa interact with that na? Is na voiced? All nasals are voiced. What's the sa going to change into? I heard somebody say it. I'll just give you that one. Gatir nasti. He is not there, or he is not going there. Makes more sense. Finally, we have es. This is again, it is a sa before any voiced initial. What is a voiced initial? Ka, ka, ga, ga. Oh, that's in that second part. Ga. So Hares plus Gauss, the cow of Hari, Gauss means cow. What's that going to do? What was that? I heard somebody. All right, we're a little low on time here. So that there is Harer Gauch. So Harer Gauss. And you'll notice that that sa at the end, what does that turn into? It's in the absolute final position. So that sa and Gauss becomes the Visarga. See how the rules are related? Finally, we have an exception. There are no double ras in Sanskrit. So you get this complicated system. Agnes plus rochati. Agnes or agnihi is fire. Rochate means to burn. Now, from that, the sa would turn into a ra with a virama. I don't have the virama on there. So it would be agnir plus rochete. Now, Sanskrit will not allow you to do a double ra. So the ra drops, and because it drops, the e takes a guna and becomes, or no, the e is lengthened. Sorry, it just lengthens. So you get agnir, or agnis rochete becomes agnir rochete equals agni long e rochete. What do you remember from this? Remember that double ras are not allowed. This doesn't come up a lot. And honestly, you'll read right along and just go, nah, all right, that makes sense. But I want you to be aware of that. So we have these sas before non-voiced initials. What were the non-voiced initials? So the first part, ka-ka, cha-cha, ta-ta, ta-ta, ta-pa-pa-pa. That's why you need to memorize the alphabet in that order. And then sha, sa, sa, and ha, and la. So those are unvoiced. Go back to your chart if you can't remember it. So the cha varga, the cha class, the ta class, and the ta class. So the syllables are sha, sa, and sa. And our non-voiced words are cha cha, ta 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 da. Ka 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 na cha 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 ta. The sha, so the sa here, wait a minute, hold on. So before, yes, cha varga, ta 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 ta, yes. So our cha varga, our ta varga, and our ta varga, which are our unvoiced initials, or yes, so our unvoiced initials. The sa adds, or there's a sa that's added between the two, between the two words. Let's look at an example here. So this is what I want you to look at. So you have harihi plus chalati. Gotta get that. That's driving me nuts. Chalati. No, chalati. Okay. So when you're looking here, harihi, so harihi plus chalati. So you would think it would be just like haris, chalati, but you get a little sa that changes. Your sa changes to the corresponding sha sound of cha. That sounds like a lot. What I want you to remember is haris chalati equals haris chalati. Now, let's go back to this up here again. What I want you to do, looking here, you'll see that for cha, the corresponding sibilant is sha. Oh man, this is not. If you look at the front page of Goldman, if you look at this chart in Goldman, I didn't realize this problem here. The cha corresponds to sha. The ka corresponds to sha, and the ta corresponds to sa. So if that's right, I can't remember. I got to look at the chart myself. But anyway, so cha corresponds to sha. Just remember that for now. And I'll get a different chart up here. So haris plus chalati, the sa turns into a sha. Same thing here. The sa sound before a non-voiced initial. Here, chaya, chaya. So the cha corresponds with this sha sound again. Haris chalati, Vishnos chaya, Vishnu's shadow. So the sa becomes the Shiva sha because that corresponds with the starting initial va. If you look on look at the Goldman page. That's the best one to look at. Where does Guy Levitt say? I don't know. I can't remember right now. Anyway, so I want to get through as much of this as we can, and we have like 5 minutes left. So I want to do 2 more slides. So sa, this short sa, before a non-voiced initial. And here we have a full sentence. Haris plus pika plus karoti. Hari, so harihi So that would be your little Visarga, right? And then tika means a commentary. Karoti means to create or make. So hari makes or writes a commentary. Here, haris connects to the ta, that's retroflex, ta. So the sa is going to become a retroflex sha. Harish tika karoti. Here again, think of it this way. That haha visarga is a short sa. That sa is attracted to the ta. That ta is retroflex, which means the sa becomes retroflex. Follow it further. Agnis plus tikshna. Tikshna means fierce or sharp or dangerous. Agnis plus tikshna. So the sa sound is going to be attracted to the ta sound. The ta sound is dental. The dental sa is, or the dental sibilant is sa. So here, the sa is attracted to the ta, so it becomes dental. So that actually doesn't have a change. You just connect them and they become agnis tikshna. So I want you to remember that cha, cha, and ta are really common. So your cha will become a sa, or your ta will become a sa, your cha will become a sha, and the cha becomes sha. I know, that's just one of my little rules. I don't think that's that helpful now that I look at it with you. All right, so before a non-voiced word initial, you have pa. For instance, here, harihi pashyati. Here, if it's a non-voiced word initial, remember we had non-voiced initials here, where the sa becomes a non-voiced initial. Here, you have a non-voiced word initial. So here they don't combine. Here it just becomes haris pashyati, haris pashyati. But haris kanati, hari digs, becomes a sa there. So this is kind of like an exemption on this one. I know this is confusing and we're right at the end. Let me see if I have one more here. Yeah, okay. So this was as far as I think we're going to get today. So here, you're looking at non-voiced word initials. Your non-voiced word initial is ka. So haris kanati, haris pashyati. I'm not explaining this well. I need to look this rule up again. I don't know why, but it's now blocking in my head. But very quickly, I want you to just see a few of these other examples. So you have a final sa after an a vowel. Remember on all of these? These have been non-a vowels. After an a vowel, you'll see specific changes. And this is very common. So here, it just becomes ramas pashyati. So Rama sees. The sa there just becomes a normal visarga. Now, ramas before, again, an initial, or after an a, plus an initial sa is ramaha there. But if you have rama plus chalati, then you have this sha sound comes in like we saw before. Very quickly. Where we go. So short us before a voiced initial will become o. Here, ramas gachati becomes ramo gachati. Pashyatas plus rajaha becomes pashyato rajaha. So this is why certain sounds at the end of a letter that you'd see would be a visarga or a sa with no vowel turn to o. Sa before any vowel other than short a and long a, it will actually drop everything. So ramas uvacha with the non-a vowel, it just drops. Ramas uvacha becomes rama uvacha. Or bodhas plus eva plus vidyaya, here you'll notice it's the haha sound, the sa sound before a non-a vowel it just drops and becomes nothing. All right, that is all we have time for today. We gotta get through Sunday next week. I'll go back over what I just did today and explain it in a little more clarity, and we'll all get there. So don't you worry about that. But I want you to be prepared because you have some assignments coming out. What's due? Somebody tell me what's due.
Sunday worksheet sheet 1 is due today.
Yep. And what else? What's due on Tuesday?
Script 5, I think, is due on the weekend, actually, but maybe I'm wrong on that date.
Once I get, come on, stop. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Check the calendar. It's all on Canvas. So that'll be your last script sheet. Bust through that thing. I will get you an answer key once you're done. I will look at how you did Vowel Sandhi and give you feedback before Tuesday. On Tuesday, at the beginning of class, we're going to have a quiz that will be on the script and will be on just Vowel Sandhi. So just what I reviewed today. And if you just study the examples in Goldman and from the PowerPoints, there will be nothing different from there. Now on the script, I'll probably pull some examples for you to transliterate from any one of the script exercises or any of the examples from Goldman. Does that make sense? Okay. Have a good weekend. And remember, as I've said to you before, as the great William Whalen, one of my favorite English teachers, who was a very old, cranky man, said, don't spend the best years of your life studying. All right, y'all. Oh, some of y'all said you might want to meet tomorrow. I'll tell you what. I have a couple of things going on. For those of you who want to meet tomorrow, email me tonight. And I will propose it, and I'll send out an announcement tomorrow. I'll try to make myself available for like 2 hours of office hour tomorrow, but I have to look at my calendar first. So email me if you want to see me, but I'm gonna make an announcement regardless when I'll hold some office hours tomorrow. Sound good?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. All right, I'll see some of y'all tomorrow. The rest of you, I will see next week. Study hard, do well, do good, fight evil. Bye-bye now. Namaste.